Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Safiullah and AI Project Management Intern at Victor Institute. And I'm excited to share with you some perspectives on the use of generative AI for business transformation. The insights that I'm sharing today are rooted in the lessons that I learned during my time at Victor, especially while working on the execution of generative AI thought leadership project. A bit about the project. The objective of this project was to identify the challenges, opportunities, and options in GenAI through a collaborative process of engaging business leaders in research community and practitioners. There are 4 key phases that almost all applied AI projects are going through at Victor: ideation, preparation, execution, and distribution. As a result of the preliminary research at the ideation phase, 3 major themes were set for the discussion ahead: business strategy, technical execution, and control and governance. Preparation was heavy on creating contents and engaging AI community. We onboarded around 182 practitioners from organizations like PwC, the big banks, Canadian Tire, some startups, and many more, mainly Victor sponsors and some regulators. And the 4 days of execution were full of fun and a lot of in-person interactions. And of course, we will be distributing a blog and a report that could guide our Victor community on their Gen AI initiatives hopefully in the first quarter of the next year. So the participants really enjoyed as an outcome. They learned about Gen AI in a collaborative environment. They networked with industry peers and researchers and benchmarked their practices with other organizations. This is a bit about the management side of the project, and my colleague Nifemi talked about this morning a bit more. So I will rather talk about what I learned a lot about the Gen AI from this project, and I'll share with you some of the overarching perspectives, especially around Gen AI for business transformation. To capture the full transformative potential of Gen AI, an organization needs to look at Gen AI from at least 4 different angles. First, to use Gen AI only when it serves a strategic purpose and not just for the sake of a shiny technology implementation. Second, there are a lot of legal, ethical, and other governance risks associated with the use of Gen AI. Organizations need to understand those risks and act responsibly, protecting the planet and the people, as a principle of Victor explained it. Third, Gen AI is not only about ChatGPT and Bard and some other applications like that. Organizations need to understand available options for technical execution of Gen AI solutions and pick the one fit for the purpose. And last but not the least is generative AI transformation is different than various other digital transformation that we experienced in the past years. And we need to know how to tailor our organizational change strategies to adopt Gen AI solutions. Organizations that are randomly internalizing trendy Gen AI applications and setting trendy policies and not looking comprehensively from all these different lenses will most probably miss the real opportunity and the real potential in Gen AI. The discussions there in those 4 days highlighted the current state of Gen AI and critical questions that could lay out the foundations for future direction in Gen AI. And due to the time limitation, I'll fast forward on these highlights in terms of these 4 dimensions. For the strategy, we are mainly driven by a generalized list of Gen AI use cases currently, which are usually published by consulting firms, including all these topic modeling and all other use cases that we are well familiar with it. And usually we used it to improve existing ways of doing business for both internal productivity and customer-faced applications. But leaders recognize the need for more strategic approach. Organizations must start at a customer's in what jobs the customer needs to get done and see if Gen AI can add value there. So that's why the future discussions are expected to find ways that can transform our business in personalized ways specific to our customer needs with proven benefits, and not general purpose fancy Gen AI use cases. As Victor Institute, we could focus for them, for our community, on industry-specific use cases, strategy simulation labs, and more knowledge exchange projects. As long as the execution perspective, the technical execution of Gen AI these days is mostly about experimenting with advanced models like Llama, OpenAI, and other advanced techniques like prompt engineering. There is a high tendency as well towards implementing RAGs, fine-tuning multimodal models, cloud AI, and tiny models. And by tiny, I mean with small scale that can be easily and efficiently implemented across especially edge devices. So organizations have remarkable progress on experimenting with execution of Gen AI technologies, but the critical questions are about execution. About the execution is actually pushing us to enhance the ways we are productionizing our Gen AI solutions at scale. As Victor, we could potentially invest in projects involving AI solution delivery management, open source deployments, and it is good to see that we are already working on RAG and AI cybersecurity and other such projects. For the governance, I'll say addressing governance issues is the hottest topic in the top priority for organizations now, being big or small, all in. So companies have hundreds of proof of concepts that are actually waiting to be operationalized, mainly waiting because of the governance issues in that 100 coming from one single bank. Gen AI technologies are prone to serious issues related to privacy, security, and intellectual property rights, both in relation to personal information or the broader proprietary business data. And the legal obligations are still unknown, among other risks that are limiting actually the Gen AI potential in multiple ways. The key questions to guide the future discussions are pivoting around comprehensive regulations and framework, plus institutional structures that enable cross-industry collaboration that is necessary as part of a comprehensive response to AI. As Victor, in my opinion, we need to dive deep into the specific governance issues like ethics and others, as we do in some of our projects, guide industry-specific frameworks, and proactively provide inputs to the Canadian regulatory framework, and chair an initiative like an AI transparency initiative that could set the standards for AI transparency in accountability in the long run. For the adoption, we are currently lagging on the adoption strategies because AI is complex and the pace of AI development is way faster than the pace of learning in the organization. So organizations also recognize the importance of giving voice to customers, but still lag on AI literacy. Looking at the questions on the mind of business leaders, I believe, as Victor, we need to support them right from the scratch, discussing the AI transformation strategies, cross-industry AI taxonomy, to discuss the very nature of the AI and model AI literacy training for citizen development and even public awareness campaign. So to conclude, if we are really serious about the transformative potential of Gen AI, we need to work on all these four quadrants. And we have governance as a top priority, and the next step will be to have good regulations, frameworks, and institutions. In adoption as the next big opportunity, and the next step will be AI literacy at focus. In the strategy, we are doing good, but we have to shift focus on the customer needs and jobs to be done, as opposed to the mainly use case driven approach to the strategy. And for execution, we're great, but we have to move from experimentation to the at scale implementation. And that was all about the Gen AI. And finally, I would like to share with you some concluding remarks about my Victor experience and the time that I've spent. For almost 4 months, I worked on, contributed to at least 4 projects: the Gen AI Thought Leadership Project, Self-Supervised Learning Bootcamp, and AI Cybersecurity Roundtable, in the RAG Models Bootcamp that I'm working now with them. So what I see, the combination of the projects are truly transformative, and they're transforming the whole AI community with itself. The knowledge exchanged is very relevant and updated, and it tied the industry research community in the AI talent pool very well together. And most importantly, the team is very professional and supportive. And I would like to thank Andres, Himanshu, Omar, Shayan, and PD team, the HR team, and the communication team, and everyone else I met during this time. A special thanks to Eric. He helped me a lot day by day. And to be honest, you all gave us that tireless support and hope to be on the top of our professional career. So I would say, I wish for everyone in the AI industry here in Canada, especially in Ontario, to be part of this wonderful family. And you guys are awesome. Thank you once again for allowing me to be part of this wonderful Victor family. And I'm happy to provide further details if you have any questions about that.
Thank you so much, Safi. Excellent job. Round of applause virtually. So judges, please go ahead, ask any questions. Anyone in the audience, please go for it.
Safi, great job, great pace, and seems like you definitely know the subject and hitting the right tone at the end for sure. In terms of culmination. Maybe a question for you, since you've had an opportunity to connect with so many different leaders. Gen AI is a bit more of a leapfrog when it comes to traditional AI, and it's got a lot of attention for organizations at this point. What have you heard, or maybe what would you recommend to someone who has not experimented enough in traditional AI and has seen the results or the ROI, and now is looking to delve into Gen AI? What would be the path for an organization like that? Have you seen anything that's come out from your discussions or the Thought Leadership Project?
Thank you so much, Ali, for that question. It's a very important one. And I'm not sure if I can go back to the technical execution part. One more specific issue that many highlighted, sorry, I can't go there. Many highlighted that we need the foundation for before going to generative AI. So that's that we need the data foundation that we were using before for the analytics, and then for the AI technologies before even generative AI. But the shift is that we are now concerned with more and more unstructured data. So we should have that base, and those organizations must have at least some understanding of that. And second, for that, we also need to have that compute foundation that we already had, and we are facing similar issues and challenges that we had before. So previous experience will be great, and if we just jump into Gen AI, there will be a vacuum that we might experience some challenges that we could never experience otherwise.
Thanks, Safi.
Safi, really nice presentation. I liked especially the quote where you said that the pace of AI technology development is greater than the pace of learning at organizations. And on that, do you think that this will drive workers outside their organizations for tooling and learning, and whether that presents a risk to organizations?
This is really important, because the way we are training our staff right now and employees, the traditional way, this won't work. And we need some different strategic approach to focus on the basics first. and then helping them to understand, build upon that, the generative AI because if we train someone to understand how LLM and some modern technologies work, then probably we will have another very different technology next year. So without the base that we have, it will be very hard for them to catch up. So we need to think more strategically and more foundationally about these. And to be honest, that's one of the questions that we have to look for and find out solution yet.